Hey everybody, this is Jeff Wilson with your fifth and most likely final video in our little short series here. And in today's video, we are going to talk about why you keep cheating on yourself and how to stop. So I'm really excited about this one, mainly because the title I thought was clever. But this is going to be focusing on self-sabotaging, the like all or nothing, start over on Monday mindset, lack of accountability, and changing your standards as to how you live your life. If you haven't watched the most previous video, I would do that. So of course, video 4, that one really plays well into this video. And the last couple points, I could have gone deeper, but because of this video is why I wanted to do that, or not go as deep as I could have. And if you haven't watched any of them, I would at least start with the first video and at the very least watch 1 and 4 so that this video makes a little bit more sense. Not that it won't in any way, but with that said, let's get cracking. If you have ever tried working out, doing an eating plan of any kind, and you had like typical, well, I shouldn't say typical, but maybe like consistency of some sort where you kind of always started over when you missed a day, or you would justify like on a Thursday, I've already missed 2 days. I'm gonna start over on Monday, or it's December 10th. I'm gonna wait to the new year. Or like, I'm gonna stick to this plan this time, and you get a few weeks in and then you kind of plummet with either motivation, or you just kind of get off track enough to where you then just kind of like scrap the whole thing. This video is definitely for you. A lot of the main concepts are going to be very beneficial for anybody listening to this. But with that said, I just think that the majority of people have these like patterns in their head. And a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, have a very all or nothing approach to fitness and health. And it's why people can't stay very consistent. Yes, there's other factors, but I'm not going to, try to exhaust that. But I think a lot of people also jump to like negative conclusions, like I'm lazy, I'm worthless, I'm not cut out for this, I'm not an athlete, I'm not a fitness influencer, whatever it may be. I think people kind of jump ship pretty quickly when they don't do well, especially if there's a consistent history with that, or it's just something you've never done. And there's other areas of your life where these consistencies show up. And that's a little bit more for maybe like a counselor or something. But I've talked with many clients about this kind of stuff. And I'll even have part of my one-on-one like in-person training sessions where we may talk about this, or we'll talk as we're working out. And I try to like kind of pick those little pieces of the puzzle that seem to be missing from how somebody's going about their training, their food, what have you. One of the most consistent ones is the like, I'll start over on Monday, or there's certain parts of the year where like a holiday's coming up and they just missed a good few days. So then they kind of, well, in 2 weeks, there's Thanksgiving, or I have my birthday and then a week trip in the Bahamas, and I'm just going to eat like shit anyway. So I'll just kind of just drop everything and I'll just restart when I get back. Some of the worst decisions that people can make, especially if you're not already like ahead of yourself, if you will. Like if you're somebody that's kind of constantly trying to keep your head above water, you've never really been good at staying consistent here, these are things you're going to really want to challenge yourself on. And okay, so as far as the self-sabotaging point I made earlier, or at least the point I want to make, a lot of people think that they're just lazy, especially with the fitness part of this. And that is very possible. But I truly believe that most people, especially if you have a big enough why, aren't really lazy. They just don't have the right systems. So refer to the last video for that one. Or they have kind of a negative feedback cycle in their head. And they compare that, where you could like, I guess, bridge that to, they have the all or nothing mindset, where if I'm not doing this exact amount of things because this is what the program calls for, they just kind of drop off. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 weeks and stuff. It's like, if you want to lose weight in like a certain relatively short few month period of time, or you have a certain performance measure or something like that, it's like a day or two, sure, here and there isn't going to be the end of the world of missing. But most people just get a negative feedback cycle, and there's a lot of verbiage that they say to themselves that that kind of puts them there. It's not just they just do or don't show up. A lot of times it's what they're saying to themselves. Another reason why this may happen, or why you self-sabotage, is you're trying to change too many things at once. I literally always start with one thing when I work with people. They'll always ask for like 12, and I'll tell them, wait, we are going to literally start training, and then we're going to look at your water intake and how much water you're drinking, because everybody thinks they're fine, but usually they don't drink enough water, and then we kind of just go from there. Sometimes it's just like, it's an easy box checked and we just move right on. It really depends on the person, of course, and where they're at when they come see me for the first time. But trying to do too many things at once is definitely a recipe for disaster for most people. I talked about this in the last video, but your environment is huge. Simply put, surround yourself with people that are actually trying to move in a similar direction as you, as well as don't make your already potentially negative feedback cycle worse. If you have people that are just simply not living the way you want to live, sometimes you can't do anything about it if it's like living in the same home, but you can do something about your friends. Set some boundaries, tell them, here's what I'm doing. If you don't like it, cool. Like, I don't know, like I'll see you in a few months when I leveled up, and then they'll be jealous and all that kind of stuff. Most people that don't want to help you really probably aren't your true friends. Family can be difficult with some of this stuff. Some people may not be ready for you to change. Truth be told, that's a whole nother bag of issues. I'm not going to get into that one. But next, I want to get back to the I'll start over on Monday trap. I've already referenced the cycles in your brain, but the all or nothing mindset keeps you in those cycles because you never really push through. And the more you show up, just generally speaking, like even if you miss 3 or 4 days or even a week or two, the more you show up, just because you have like something planned, maybe a week down the road, and you're like, okay, I'll start after that. Even just fitting in one more workout or one more good meal is another step in the right direction. I cannot, sometimes I get frustrated because it's a lot of people just can't see that connection. You just need to show up more than you used to, and then aim at becoming that person, and not immediately go to perfection. And then when you drop off completely. The all or nothing principle, I think, is one of the worst mindset cycles to get into, personally speaking, as well as, I guess, professionally speaking. But the lack of accountability, going back to your environment, social circle, what have you, this can help you here. But the most important part is yourself and how well you keep yourself accountable and how you view yourself, how you're viewing your next few months. And yeah, you're going to have doubts. You're going to have moments where you don't like yourself. You don't like how you're going about things. You're down on yourself. You're too sore. You don't want to eat another salad. Whatever the thing is, I get it. But the person you are when nobody's watching is where I'm going with this. And I think it's one of the most important life lessons that anybody can learn across the board. You can appear great at work. You can have all the Instagram BS and all that stuff and look like your life's amazing. But if you're not really that kind of an integrity-filled person, or actually kind to people, or whatever the situation is, that will bite you in the ass later, and especially with fitness and food. If you're like constantly doing your own thing on the side, you're just hurting yourself. It sounds so simple on paper, but people do it literally all the time. And I understand it, and I have empathy for it. But if you want to change, it's the look in the mirror mindset I've mentioned a couple times in previous videos. And lastly, I want to say is to get, I think, past most of these things, your standards for yourself just need to change. Like, if you've accepted inconsistency as normal in the past, it's just going to take some rewiring in the brain to get past this. And that really just comes down to just trying to show up more and more. And I kind of referenced that a couple minutes ago. It's not about being perfect. It's about having the 80-20 rule. And then that's now your new foundation. And then you can springboard off of that. And months and months of doing this kind of thing, the compounding interest, if you will, is unquantifiable. And it's hard to explain until you feel it, but just try to relate it to other areas of your life. Maybe you've done that in business, maybe you've done that in finances, whatever. if you felt it there, you have the ability to do it because you've already done it somewhere else. So take the bull by the horns and be a man. Like, if you don't like your body, it's time to face the music and start moving forward, but not with shame and guilt and poor environment and motivation as all your fuel. You need to have the why. You need to have I mean, at the end of the day, your standards of who you want to become and how you're going to live your life need to change. Boundaries are one of the most important things for your life, let alone your wellness journey. And if you don't have boundaries around yourself, you're just, any external factor is going to take you off course and just throw you backwards. You know, one step up, or one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. And we don't want that. I want you to succeed, be happy, find the Eastern European wife of your dreams, have some beautiful kids, and enjoy your life. And but the thing is, I can't make you do those things. Nobody can make you do those things. It comes down to your integrity and your ability to have some self-esteem and some self-efficacy that really can change your life. So I'd love to chat with more of you in the future, more one-on-one, what have you, small groups, however this plays out. But with that said, I appreciate those who have watched these videos. Feel free to reach out and we can chat. But other than that, have a great day and see you in maybe another video.